Hello, welcome to Joy News Exclusive. Now, acquiring a piece of land in Ghana is generally very complicated. Sometimes one piece is sold to several people, leading to disputes and clashes with very deadly and devastating consequences. As a country, it appears everyone wants a proper legal framework to protect the interests of all land stakeholders. A land administration project was launched in 1999 to help the streamlining of things. So what's the status of these streamlining efforts? Today on Joy News Exclusive, we'll be talking about customary land administration, lands in the hands of chiefs.
The Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources started the Land Administration Project to intervene in land matters from 2003 to 2008. The project was extended to 2011 to review the legal framework in administering lands in the country.
Before 1999, there was no land policy in this country. Laws were passed, institutions and agencies were managing land differently. We had the agencies, the Lands Department, then the Lands Commission, the Land Title Registry, and so many of them. The districts, the assemblies themselves are also land management institutions.
About 80% of land in the country is still held by customary land owners. The state, by use of legislature, manages only 20%.
Literacy is very low. Some of the people who are in authority, some of them are illiterate. They don't have boundaries. Their land boundaries are not properly demarcated and marked, which it's the cause of conflicts between and amongst them sometimes. The multiple sales of lands, which is a very big issue because of lack of records. They are not able to keep records of the transactions that they have done before. And so it's likely that you will grant one land to one person and then the same number is going to another person.
The customary land secretariats are specialized offices within land-owning communities to streamline land management at their local level and to find relief to all players in the land sector. There are, however, some challenges.
The land policy identified so many problems mitigating against proper development of lands in this country. The policy identified indeterminate boundaries by customary land owners, indiscipline, general indiscipline in the land market. People are selling land many times, multiple sales of land. People who didn't have capacity to grant lands were granting it. And it's not as if it is over. We have issues of the agencies themselves, the public land agencies themselves. There are multiplicity. Some of them were duplicating each other in performance of their duties. We can talk about absence of maps and all these things that would support a modern land information system were all missing.
Under LAP 1, 37 customary land secretariats were established throughout the country to start engaging customary land owners to collect accurate records of their lands and help them in legally documenting ownership of these lands. LAP 1 was basically a proposal by the Secretariat to customary land owners urging them to properly document their land. Under LAP 2, a demand-led approach was adopted to sensitize owners of stool, family and clan lands to sign on to the project.
So many customary land owners have applied for the establishment of the CLSs. As we are speaking, we have prepared 20 of them to be established this year. So far, we have done 10. And I can tell you, they are across the country. We have Boku, Kusau, CLS, we have Buwa, Zini in the upper west region, Achim, Suedro, in the eastern region, Eguafo in the central region, Manche Agbona, Nyesi Alata, Jamestown here in Accra. We have Adakranja in Ashanti region, Avatime, Ivane in the Volta region, Pembi, Salaga in the northern region, in Eastern Zama, Atuabo in the western region, and we have Dwaya and Kwanta in the Brown Hafo. This is the first set.
Well, welcome back to, I beg your pardon, welcome back to Joy News Exclusive. I was going to say welcome back to PM Express. But yes, welcome back to Joy News Exclusive, and we're discussing lands in the hands of chiefs. So I have with me in the studio Patrick Awuah, who is Patrick Amoah, I beg your pardon. Patrick Amoah is Director of Operations and Deputy Administrator of Stu Lands. It's great to have you in the studio. So, I mean, the footage we've just seen kind of gives us a background of the major problems facing land administration issues in Ghana in general. So, I mean, from where you stand, what problem is the LAP, for example, seeking to solve?
Yeah, generally, as the footage we saw, land administration in this country is not the best. We have so many problems bedeviling land administration, both in the customary sector and the public sector. And so in 1999, when the land policy was brought up, the state found it very necessary to make sure that these problems are resolved in a way. So therefore, the land administration project is an intervention by the state to at least mitigate this problem, if not eliminate the problems in totality. So we realize that these problems, some of them are.
So what problems are we talking about?
So
one, legal title, two, ownership, demarcations. What exactly?
Yeah, the problems are very numerous. We have the issue of indeterminate boundaries. The allodia titles, farms and other owners don't have their titles really determined to show the boundaries between their land and that of their neighbors. Again, especially in the urban areas, there were the problem of people selling lands to different to prospective developers without recourse to giving title and other things. There were also multiple sales, family members selling lands, one piece of land to different people, and the market was really chaotic.
It's still chaotic, right?
It is, but that is why the intervention, we shouldn't expect that things will go off just like that. But gradually we are going there. People were not able to document their land transactions, and it took a very long time. But now with some of these interventions, especially during the LAP 1, we've been able to reduce the time we used to process some of these documents. Sometimes 3 years, but now within 7 months, 6 months, you will be able to get, and we're working on it. So all these problems has brought about this intervention we call Land Administration Project. The first part ended a couple of years ago, and we've begun the second Land Administration Project.
So let's discuss some specific. If I take, for example, I get a land to buy at Bawe, and it is a chief who sold me the land. The land belongs to the chief. If you go, let's say Chief A has, Chief A is the one who sold the land to you, but you go and you go to the Lands Commission to verify ownership, and you find out that it is actually the name of Chief B who is on the title. Yes. What do you do? What remedies are available?
These are some of the issues. You see, the concept of ownership is what is really causing the trouble. Who owns the land is an issue. you go to a particular area which is customary owned, the land is customary owned, like a family or a stool, as you said, as a layman, you said the chiefs own the land. In reality, it's not the chief who owns the land, it's the entire stool, but he is the leader of that group. So apparently, when it comes to disposition and documentation, he has to sign, but he does not own the land in the right sense of the word, right? So when you, as the chief of Bawi, and you have your subjects staying on their lands, you see, it is the individual lands being occupied by the subject that come together to form the totality of stool lands, which you, the chief, is the head. So the individuals, or which we call the customary freeholder, they have equal right to that piece of land which has been cultivated by their ancestors and they are now occupied. So if you, chief, you dispose of the land without recourse to these people, they will definitely, the prospective buyer will have problems.
Okay.
Because they will never sit down for their chief to take their land. You know, until these days where we have white collar jobs, everybody was relying on land. We were basically farmers. So if a chief should dispose or take your land, the land of your subject, and give it out to a stranger,
he's taking your livelihood.
That is it. So, and that principle is still there. It doesn't matter the society is now urbanized or we have other sources of livelihood. So if you sell land and you go to the Lands Commission to check, the problem is that if you know you have the land, you have to register with the Lands Commission that you are the title holder of this piece of land lying here with all the descriptions, so that anybody who takes the documents will be able to identify the land on the ground. And if you have that lodged with the Lands Commission, I don't think anybody can sell that land and be able to register at the Lands Commission. But more often than not, people sit in the comfort of their homes and think the land belongs to them, while other people will take the step to go and register, because these people are also part of the stool or part of the family. So when a family has gone to register the land as a family land, and you as the chief, you sit in your house and gives out the land to somebody, you go there and you find out that the chief's name is not in the document of Lands Commission.
All right. So
yeah.
So the understanding I got from this first footage was that the land administration project secretariats across the country was in consultation with the chiefs to, one, streamline ownership, collect data, and help them to properly document ownership of their land. Why is this necessary if over the years, over the years of their family lineage, they know that the land belongs to their family? Do they need now to come forward to document?
Yes, they do. You see, in this country, more than 75% of land holdings is in the hands of customary land administrators. Chiefs, families, clans, Atafo companies, kings, tindanes, they own this land. But unfortunately, the type of administration they are disposed to is not the best. In fact, it's a bane of our land administration. So now the state think that if we want this country to develop, land being the fundamental resource for development must be well managed. So this intervention of customary land secretariat and ascertainment of customary law and practices are all meant to document the existing customs and also make sure that land administrators at that level are able to keep good records, because people sell land, they don't keep records. Now the original lessor or the person who sold it might have died. A new chief comes, and when he comes, this latter day chiefs, unfortunately for them, the land has almost all their lands has been disposed of in one way or the other. So they come and take the throne and they have virtually nothing. You get the point. They have virtually nothing, because these days, even though you are a chief over people, you don't rule over people. In the olden days, when chiefs need something, their subjects feed them. People go, hunters go to hunt, they bring meat to the chief. If the chief's wives need mortar, the mortar maker will bring. The palm wine tapper will bring
some palm wine.
But now, even if the chief wants to buy, the man, instead of at least reducing it for chief, you say, oh, it has already been sold or it's not for sale. So therefore, if you're a chief and you have no land, it's like
you have no title.
You have no title. You are nobody. So therefore, most of these lands has already been given out. So when the latter day chiefs comes, they ask, what's your document?
If you don't have documents, they kick you out.
You kick you out, or come and let us go into another agreement. But you and I know that a stranger cannot come and take over a land which does not belong to him without anything happening. And if you come, you inherit somebody, you become a chief, your uncle or your father died and you took over, you have to take the burdens and the benefits, the assets and the liabilities. But unfortunately, he asks you of documents and you don't have. So they start using different ways,
including
and
force,
to force people
and
to
other things.
Buy lands they have already occupied for years. And so these things we want to stop, because it's really not good for development. And that is why the states want this customary land secretariat to be established. In fact, this is not the state establishing it for them. We are just facilitating, helping them. But it is the baby of the traditional authority or the family who owns the land. They are to make sure it works. But we of the Office of Administrator of Stool Lands, as the lead agency for this program, we will be constantly monitoring, advising, and giving support and training to make sure it works.
So tell me what has been done in Accra, for example. Which parts of Accra do you now have viable customary land secretariats or anything, yes, and how efficient are they working?
Yeah, Accra, the flagship customary land secretary is the Bawe family. In fact, they had something going already, and so what the project is to reinforce their position for them, and indeed they are doing well because they have a secretariat where they know all the people who have bought land from the family. They have records. They know when rents are due to be collected
on the land.
And if you have any problem, you go there, it is resolved. If you want to buy land, you go there, they will look in the records and see whether that land is vacant. It has not been given out to anybody. Then you go ahead and process. Apart from that, we also have one at Amamale or something. Yes, I'm not so conversant
with the names.
Yes, that one too is going on. That is also a family. Then recently we've established one at English Alata. That is Jamestown. We've furnished their offices for them. We left with the inauguration. They have the coordinator in place and everything is set for them to move on. In fact, they have quite a number of villages under them in the greater Accra. So it will be better for them to really put in a lot to make this thing work. You see, this customary land secretariat is going to run parallel with the public land administration, but it is not competing with that. But that is going to be the first point of call if someone needs information about land in a particular setting. Yes, that
to first consult with the local owners of the land before
then let
going
them
ahead
check their records and see whether the land you want to buy or you want to acquire is not encumbered. Because if you don't do that, you go and buy land. Now people are selling. Family members are selling because family heads do not account for what they sell to them, all the members. So what do? If you're a member of a family and your family head sells land, you don't see anything. That land does not belong to him. He just happened to be the head of the family. Or the land belongs to all of you, and so you should all benefit. But if you are not benefiting, then what do? So if you see the land is vacant and you also get a buyer, you go ahead and sell. Then they go and they crash. You see, this is the problem we have. Then we ought to make sure we have systems put in place to make sure these things are rectified. Other than that, the development of this country is in danger.
Will be hampered.
It will be hampered, extremely hampered, because everything is on land.
That's right.
If you fly, you will land.
You will land, definitely. So, I mean, are there timelines? Are there timelines for which you're setting your administration of stool lands is setting that all these customary land secretariats will be fully fledging and functional? Have you given yourself timelines?
Yes, the project itself is timed. We don't have all the times on our hands. So this year, for example, in fact, every year we have to establish 10. We are establishing 50 CLSs for the Lab 2, which will run for about 5 years. And every year we are supposed to establish 10 of these. Last year, because of some initial problems, we were not able to establish them properly, so-called. But this year, we are able to establish the first 10, the second 10 by the close of the year. In fact, we've started, we will have. So this year, we've been able to make 20. Then, after we have supplied everything, we are monitoring. Now, some of them are even due for official inauguration. We're going to have official inauguration of some of them. Then when we finish with them, then we will do training for the staff who are going to because they have to have at least basic knowledge in land administration, bookkeeping, records keeping, and others to be able to handle the documents. Now with the old ones, we have, in order to make sure they are able to survive, the project has commissioned consultants to develop business plans for them, 15 of them. In fact, the business plan, the consultants have presented the final draft report. The Office of Administrator of Stool Land as the lead agency, we have reviewed the whole business plans, and our report has been sent back to them to be incorporated in the final report. So we hope when this thing comes out, it will help the various customary land secretariats to be able to stand on their feet.
Right, you're watching Joy News Exclusive. My name is Stephen Enti, and I'm here having a chat with Patrick Amoah, who is the Director of Operations and the Deputy Administrator of Stool Lands. You can send in your comments on Facebook, facebook.com/Joy News, and we will read it. If you've had particular challenges with land, or if you have some question you want to put to Mr. Amoah, we'll be very glad to read your question, and he'll provide some answers. We'll take a break. We'll be right back. Stay with us. Welcome back to Joy News Exclusive. My name is Stephen Enti, and today we're talking about lands in the hands of chiefs. And I've got some of your messages coming in. We'll read some of them and then we'll continue with the program. Musa Abatoa says that we have a law. Do we have a law that regulates that act? And Emmanuel Esiedu says, well, I believe the ministry in charge of lands and the Lands Commission should enforce the laws so landowners will abide by them. And John Cosby says, please, I want more news on land issues because I want to buy a land in Accra. Andrew Mawonyo Dunamis Day, your name is very long. You say this multiple selling is even done by some chiefs. It is high time we call our chiefs and other individuals to order. Processing land documents and accurate keeping of the records should be strictly ensured. More so, educating the various actors, especially our chiefs, will go a long way to curb these mishaps. Thanks very much for that comment, Andrew. And Erikel Opong Asante says there should be a law that will deal with the chiefs who are 419. 419, you are referring to fraudsters, chiefs who are fraudsters. Thanks, Erikel. And John Cobby again says, I want more news on land because I want to buy some in Accra. Amos Tina says, this is so serious an issue in Ghana. I'm still chasing a guy for my money for giving me fake land documents. Now Kokoi Pencil says, please, I want to know the difference between leasehold and the other one. You didn't finish, but I guess you want to ask the difference between leasehold and freehold. This is a legal term. I'll put it to Mr. Amwa. I do hope he could get some answer on that for you. And Andrew again says, Amos, you should have checked from a registry if indeed those documents were genuine. That's an answer to Amos's query that someone gave him fake land documents. And Sadat Yakubu, you say, I didn't know the land in my hometown does not belong to the chief alone until today. Joy News exclusive. Thanks for the education. Well, that's what we do here. We make sure that you get sufficient information about the issues that we cover. So let's listen to the second part of our documentary. Stay with us.
But what really is the success story of the Lab 2 project? We were told that before the end of the year, Kashmir Land Secretariat